Probably one of the first things you want to do when working with a template is change the logo that came with the template to your own logo. If you explore the HTML and CSS, you can usually find out what is making that image appear. And if we look, this is part of this logo CSS, and the background image can be found in the images folder. We can also sometimes just look at our images folder. With this template, it's inside the CSS folder, which is a little strange, but you will usually find a file that will let you know it is either named logo or something like logo. If we go to Photoshop, we can also browse around those images by going into our www folder, finding the avbos folder, and finding the images folder. We can see some of the images that are associated with this template. And those all look like images that appear on the site. I'm going to take this logo GIF and actually open it up inside of Photoshop. Now, one of the things that's very important to remember when you save these out, I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file and put it in a new folder, avbos parts, just so that I am not storing my working files within the same place as my HTML files. Now, in the files that I gave you in the week 7 folder, or the ones that you downloaded, you will find parts, and there's a logo.psd. From there, I'm just going to drag and drop this, but it doesn't seem to want to go. The reason for that is because this started as a GIF file. What we need to do is go to image mode and change that to RGB color. This is very important. Whenever you have a GIF file, you need to go to image mode, make it RGB color. Once that's done, we can drag in this image and it will go on its own layer. I can just delete that layer that had their logo. But it appears that our logo is longer, so we need to go to the canvas size, and I'm going to click on the leftmost box and make my width 450 to give us plenty of room for our logo. Now I'm going to save my working Photoshop file, but what I need to do to have this appear in Dreamweaver is to replace the GIF that's in this www avbos images folder. When we're working for the web, we always go File, Save for Web and Devices, and I'm going to make this a GIF and transparent. Then I'm going to browse my way to my avbos folder, CSS, images, and save it. Now I'm giving it the same name, so it asks if I want to replace, and yes, I do. So I'm going to close that file, go back to Dreamweaver, and now when I look at my index file, I will see that my logo is there. All this knows is to pull the file called logo.gif, so that's what it's doing. But unfortunately, we are running out of room because our new logo is wider. So we need to look at the rules that apply to this. Find the rule for logo. And I will notice here that it had a width of 356. I'm going to change that to 450, and now our logo appears as it should once we refresh. I'm going going to save my file, and when I upload this, I will say yes to dependent files, and that will take that logo.gif and replace it on our server.